Okay, cowgirls and cow Indians, here we go. We have ourselves a panel, and we have here what we're going to paint. Now this right here, it's from Lagoon Beach. It's called Pirate Tower or whatever. Long story. Anyway, so what it is it's printed out on black and white, as I like to do for my studio stuff, because it allows me to just see the values, and then I kind of put in the color because, you know, that's just the way it goes. I mean, if you need a picture with color or something like that, go for it, but color doesn't work like that. Anyway, because if it's a video, like you have a monitor or something like that, like oversaturate stuff, yes, you can desaturate it, Photoshop. We talked about this in another video. Long story short, it's a rainy day out, so we're working in the studio. That's about it. Okay, for those of you who are longtime fans of my videos here, you notice that I always like hold the camera, and I think it's kind of like a fun way to do things. But for this one, it's sitting on a tripod, right? Okay. So here is our picture we're going to work from, okay? Because what this is going to do is, I mean, this is pretty solid, you know, dink, you know, rule thirds, lots of really fun texture up in here and all this and that. You know, simplify this just a little, but you know, we're gonna have a lot of fun texture in here, and you know, send it back. The one thing you gotta be careful, okay, so I took this picture. Now the one thing you gotta be careful when you're working from a photograph is the fisheye lens, and you always want to like zoom in so it kind of flattens things out, or else you're gonna have a dumb looking painting. All right, here we go. I only have one camera, so you have to kind of pretend like you can see me mixing the stuff on the ground here. But blue, red, yellow, okay, and plenty of solvent to get it nice and thin, because for this drawing phase we want it super duper nice and thin. And in this compositional period. Now, I mean, some other people use yellow ochre or some type of sienna. But I'm just going, this is essentially my darkest dark here. And this will be the sketching in our drawing. If you do not have a good drawing, good composition, either wipe it and start over, or fix it. Okay, so here we go. Okay, just looking at my picture down below, and these darks aren't exactly where they're going to end up. I can always paint over these little dark areas here to, you know, bring things in, out, make it more interesting, make it less interesting. That's part of the fun process here. And also, when you work from a photograph, don't try and copy the photograph. Using the photograph as inspiration, you know, make this work good. Not be like, oh my God, you know, I didn't completely follow the photograph. And I was like, well, who cares? Because, like, who cares? If you want to get good at drawing, here's my 2 cents of advice. Have yourself a sketchbook, like I know you all do. And what you do is you know, like every night before you go to bed, while you're laying in bed, that's why I just lay in bed and I do a little drawing laying in bed. Or, you know, waiting for something to like cook, laundry, this, that, whatever you're doing. Anyways, what you do is you just do a little sketch from your mind onto the paper, and it could be a scene that you saw during the day, or something you remember from before, or just let your hand just doodle away and see what happens. And that way, all you're really doing is just trying to get the muscle to work from your brain out to your hand the way you want it to. That's all you're really doing. And it doesn't need to be like, you know, sit for a couple hours or a big huge study or put up a still life or something. You just want to get your mind, arm, all that stuff working. That's all you're really doing. And it's very important to do that because not only is it good for your drawing, but for your painting skills as well. Even though I know everyone just wants to just start painting, like, oh my God, I'm an artist, I just want to paint. There's a process we got to work on here, guys. And that process includes learning how to draw and, properly convey what you want to on canvas. If you don't do that, you're just like, oh, I'm an artist, because I'm an artist. Then what you are is you're not an artist, you're a marketing person. That's called marketing. And I remember telling a teacher that one time as I was looking at the painting, I was just like, I just did not understand back in college. I was like, what the hell, dude? Like, this looks awful and this and that, but yet they're getting their masters and there was all this and that about how awesome it's painting. I was like, dude, it sucks, man. And he goes, well, what do you think? And so I said, well, this is marketing, is what it is. I said, good art is good marketing. And he chuckled pretty good on it. He goes, well, okay, because it's true. Anyway, so all I'm trying to say is learn how to draw. Not entirely sure that was the point of that whole thing, but yeah. Learn how to draw. Okay, so this thing's like kind of built into the cliff there, as you can see. So it's just kind of suggesting where it goes into the cliff. Something about the story is, I think it has something to do with somebody who's rich. And they had this thing built there. There's also like a pool that you can go into. But it like, so basically, this is basically the house is up here, and then you go in, there's stairs that take you out the bottom, is what the plan is. And so what happened is, and then the pool out here, there's a pool out here, and it like totally fills in with sand and whatever. But, sand comes and goes. I mean, it's really kind of crazy. If you don't live by the coast or whatever, you've never noticed this. There's a beach by us. What'll happen is, and it's really kind of, because here in Dana Point, you have the way the jetty works, it's like you have two completely different facing beaches. You have one that faces to the west, and then you got another one that faces to the south, and you get these swells that just kind of come in. So, like after this little storm we're having now, you'll have like a completely different beach after the storm clears and all that good stuff. And so, like, you'll go down there before the storm. It's like, oh, just nice big sandy beach. And then you go down there after, and it's just all rocks. Like, the storm came in, and I mean, just wipes everything. It just wipes out all the sand, everything. And it's just like 100% rock. And you're like, oh my God, it's crazy. It was a beautiful sandy beach. Now it's just all rocks. And then, like, a day or two later, you go back, like, oh, it's all just rocks or whatever. And you go back and, like, it's just all sandy again. It's kind of neat. Okay, so basically what we're doing here is we're just kind of putting in some texture up on this wall here by adding a little bit of yellow ochre. Yellow ochre, I like yellow ochre in a way that it's an easy way to get to some earthy tone, sand, rock, that kind of stuff. You might find it works a little bit different for you, but for me, that's what it does. We are keeping this pretty thin, by the way. And the reason we're keeping it thin is because this is called our underpainting. So as our underpainting, and it's going to get a little bit cooler as it goes up to the top here and warmer down there. Just about anything that has a lot of vertical, everything in your painting that does that, that's a good rule to follow. Get things a little bit cooler up top, warmer down below, like a light post, a mountain, a hill, like literally anything from top to bottom. And the reason we do that is because Just like in any other part of the painting that you're trying to convey a sense of distance, that will also convey a sense of distance, you know, distance. Just creating some fun textures in here, you know, the kind of textures that are, you know, fun to create, I guess. This is the fun part of painting. See, oh, so my composition's in, by the way, I forgot. So we have our composition. Now we're putting in some, you know, some underpainting, tones, colors. We want to start making this thing come alive a little. And like all this is essentially like a lot of the same colors, same rock, obviously, but we don't want to paint it as such, because we want to make it so that the as the sunlight comes down, and this was a kind of a gray day when I took this picture, but as it comes down, this is going to have like more sunlight on it coming down. So sunlight. And also these rocks are now closer, so yeah, we're going to warm them up a little bit. Paint right into our shadow here. Get a little bit of that reflected light coming up. A little bit of the direct light coming down. And this is just the fun textural painting we're doing here. Don't get too in the weeds in it. Don't try and get like, you know, too descriptive. Don't get too illustrative with it. You know, it's very gestural. Lots of fun. So as we come back around, I want a little more white in there because of light coming down. And then we're going to go back here and we're going to cool it off just a little bit too. You know, but the white is the kind of like, I guess you say, the sunlight hitting it, the white light. You know, our other fun topic of discussion is I just go ahead and paint this in. So, you know, just looking at some videos on YouTube about seeing how other people presented their painting videos. I mean, like, you know, there's a bunch of them. A lot of people have their ways of doing things, you know. I mean, that's pretty standard. But the one thing I noticed with some of them, not all of them, but some of them, is when you do plein air painting, you really got to have a plan to get in and out with your stuff, you know. I mean, like, really make your, this isn't a plein air painting, this is studio painting, but when you do plein air painting, really, for the love of God, have yourself a good setup to get yourself in and out. That is like the best advice I could ever give somebody who wants to get into plein air painting. You know, I've seen it in many, you know, in the little organizations I paint with out here. You see it, and it's just like, it hurts watching some people try and struggle with it. And there's nothing you can really do to be like, hey, you should do this. Oh, I like doing it this way. You know, like, so many people have their, you know, such a stiff notion about, so saying, you know, like, huh, that's not a bad idea. So, you know, just from me to you, really try and have yourself a good way of getting in now. I mean, granted, you gotta, it has to work for you. I mean, like, you know, I'm a big, strong guy, so I've got my backpack that I just kind of, you know, I can easily lift a 30-pound backpack on my back. Oh, I said that doesn't look good, guys. I can easily lift a 30-pound backpack on my back and, you know, just be on my merry way. other people can. You have like a you know, a wagon or something like that. It's cool too, I guess. Needless to say, get yourself something, an easy way to get your stuff in and out. However, in Yule Studio Painting, which is what we're doing today, this is where all that time of plein air painting and painting from still life and all that stuff, you know, painting from picture again, you know, I guess it's fine, you know, everyone does it, but you really want to make sure that you don't rely on a picture to solve your drawing problems. You know, it's really cool to kind of work out a plan or you know, work out your drawing, work out your this and that, and it just comes after a while. You just get, you know, a lot better at it. You know, it just comes with, you know, your mileage, your brush. Oops, that's weird. Your brush mileage, and that's about it. I mean, I've been doing the plein air stuff for like 20-some years, something like that. All right, now we're going to put this down below here, because this sand is essentially the same as the sand that goes down to the beach. We want to make it a lot whiter, if you will. And this is drawing the positive shape into the negative shape. So here's one for you. So I was watching this video, and this girl was like, first of all, her video was like kind of weird, and then she was like, oh, look at me, I'm a cute girl, I'm out here in nature walking. And like some of her videos, like her sitting in a tree, just, you know, hey, look what I'm wearing, kind of stuff. And it's like, dude, you know, what the hell, dude? But anyway, you know, here she was doing plein air painting, and her setup was marginal at best, but is what it really was. Is she said, I didn't take any, and she was young too. She was like, you know, early 20s. And she said, I didn't go to art school. I haven't taken any art classes, and I've just basically learned how to paint based on some videos I've seen on YouTube, which, you know, right? But taking a workshop with someone is like the best, most eye-opening, awesomest thing you could do. It really is. For the love of God, do not just rely on some YouTube videos like this one to get you to, you know, learn how to paint, because you really need like an instructor who works with you, who describes it, who can ask questions, who you can, because when you go out and do a plein air workshop, usually is what happens is they also, you know, because they do a demonstration, then you do the painting, and then they'll come around and help you out. And, you know, if you're smart, you'll let them just work right on your painting. Some people get like a little weird about it, but it's like, dude, you're there to paint, you know, and to learn, not to produce some masterpiece in your class. I mean, that's kind of nonsense to think that, you know, you're taking a workshop and you got to somehow come out with some awesome painting. No, not at all. So anyway, you know, is what I gotta say is take a class with somebody who's renowned, who knows what they're doing, all that good stuff, because that will immensely help you, like, a lot. Okay, now we gotta put this water in. And this water, by the way, guys, is going to go somewhere. Let's see here. I'm just going to keep this really super washy-washy because I don't know where it's going yet. About right here, I think. Alright, now that's going to be about where our water horizon goes, okay? Yeah, I know you guys know that. Now, usually with water, I use sap green. I'll have to get some sap green up. And, you know, sap green is like the base color in a way. But if I use just a little bit of yellow, a little bit of this, not that. Sorry guys, you can't see what I'm mixing here on the ground because, you know, if you want to support the channel, click and subscribe. Like, click and subscribe, guys. And then, with any luck, I'll make enough money to buy lunch. All right, one thing also about a lot of this water, especially on like turbulent days, you know, foggy days, whatever, the water is usually like really murky. It's not like beautiful blue waters or anything. Those are like on the really clear, calm days. But the water does have an immense amount of light on it. So we're going to come back here with our blue, or the white, and work it into this color here. So yeah, so it's kind of like we're just mixing the color right here, like right on the board here, but that was carefully crafted by mixing it on the palette first. Let's go back in here and put in some more white. And this white, I'm warming up just a titch with just a smidge of yellow, just a smidge of the yellow to warm it up just ever so slightly. I mean, you can see it in there, but here it is like this. Okay. Bing. There's one thing water is, and that is it is turbulent. So don't be afraid to have a lot of turbulence in your water. Don't have a strong shape like that if it's not your center of interest. Alright. Just to make this horizon just a little more correct, just go ahead and put that in. And then off in the distance is, it's really faint in there, so I'm going to take it out. But let's go ahead and put this in, and then we'll bring the sky and work that in. Now what color this thing actually is, I'm not 100% sure. It's like concrete, I don't know, stone. But working within my same puddle that I started with, red, yellow, blue, because we want all three colors in there, in order to maintain the grayness, I guess you can say. But it's a little bit different, so we're going to work with what we got here. And now, is what I'm going to do though is like the area down here. So remember, warmer, cooler. So if we start with the same color, and we just kind of work our way up, building a texture in it. And then there's like this, actually probably go somewhere around right here is where this kind of cuts off here. There's like it's stone and then it goes to, you know, they probably like building it and they're like, dude, that's a pain in the ass, let's just make it out of concrete. And then, you know, the contractor was like, dude, the hell. I can see that. Now that's kind of a warm shadow in there, so I'm going to cool it off just a bit, right as it comes up against this. As it comes up into there, so I'm going to cool it off. Okay. I like this little area here. Who knows what that is? So on the bottom here, it's like it's, you know, made out of rocks. So instead of painting the rocks in, what we're going to do is we're just going to basically put in our tonality. Just kind of tone it, I guess you could say. And then, so then as we go up, see, no, I don't like that. But then, so we just, you know, do the, simplify the shape of that it actually is. And then we'll go in and suggest a lot of rocks and whatever in there. And then also we're going to turn it, if you will. You know, if you do the color theory and you know, do the whole, like a ball in the light still life, you'll see that we have to kind of turn this structure a little in order to make it, you know, do that. And we do that with color temperature. Color temperature. Alright, really slight movements here. That's too much of a movement. As it goes up and it buries itself into this bush or tree or whatever's up there. Okay, so now as we come down, we're going to use the white with just a hint of yellow, just a hint of yellow, and some white. Blend it into the color that you've already mixed up for this, and then we're just going to kind of come and work our way down, you know, create some texture and to create the you know, how it kind of comes forward. Come back in, darken in some of this here. We'll fix that when we put in the sky. So as we come down, here. Now, is this tower, can you like still walk in or whatever? I have no idea. I have no idea. I wouldn't, be honest with you. I mean, I've seen this thing, it's like, okay, so now let's start suggesting in like a lot of these rocks and the stonework that they put in here. Just kind of catching the highlights of those bricks. Careful not to create a tangent. Come back in, put in some darker stuff in there in a sec. Okay, so let's come back in with some darker stuff that we already have mixed up because, you know, we've already done that. And let's put some of this darker stuff back in here. Just kind of create a little extra contrast, gives a little extra dimension. This is this is fairly thin paint I'm putting in here. I'm not doing this dark stuff that thick. In case you're wondering. Careful in doing these little marks here, or else it'll start to look like a real amateur painting, as this is starting to look. Why does it do that? Guys, I'm not 100% sure. I think it has something to do with not simplifying. I mean, like, don't overwork it. You don't want to overwork it, and then because you got to simplify, right? But you just want to put a couple of things in there that just kind of make it work. Okay, just like that. So now I'm just going to come back up and put in a little bit of here as well. Okay. All right, guys. Let's go with this guy now. There's quite a bit of sky, and I'm really tempted to go up to a little bit bigger brush here, but let's see here. So in the sky, you know, like I said, it was, you know, kind of a real foggy day. So that's what I want to do is kind of have like, you know, the sunlight kind of in here, got a little bit of fog, and it kind of blends up. Using more or less the same puddle of color in a way, because it already has your red, yellows, and blues. Go ahead and start making stuff up until you get something that you like. Now I'm not showing it to you because, you know, I don't have another camera here. Like, click, and subscribe. Patreon if I get that going. you know, all the good stuff. But basically, is what I'm doing is just kind of mixing up a color that I think will be a good starting point for my sky, which is what you should be doing too. I mean, I don't want to tell you all the secrets to everything going on, but you know, let's just say you got to figure some stuff out. Okay. Now your sky does have to be the most furthest back part in your painting. Keeping this fairly thin. Okay, so we don't have to fix this up 3 different ways. Let's see if we can do a good job here, guys. I do want this line fairly crisp here. And the reason I do is because, you know, that's part of my subject matter. Okay, so part of that subject matter is to make it okay, now another thing, part of the subject matter is to make it so that your lines are sharper. But you don't want to be in your focal area. It needs to be a bit more diffused blurred lines, stuff like that. So let's see what we can do here. Oh yeah, okay, so anyway, so I got this, and now I'm gonna make it like you get like this, you get these like really awesome yellow sunsets, to be honest with you. And you know, because the fog comes in, the fog will just kind of lay there. You know, you get your coastal fog, and then you put in just the most bit of yellow here. Brighten this up a little. Also, you can think of this as just the underpainting for the sky too, by the way. This isn't like, you know, oh my god, that's a sky and that's it. No, it's, you know, this is just, it's the underpainting that we did, just like we did everything else. The sky is no different. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, fixing it. Yeah, it's kind of up here too. Because the sky is so much of the painting, you really do want to make the sky pretty cool. All right. So we're not discounting it. Oh, put the sky in. Oh, done. No, no, no. We are not doing that. We're making the sky super duper fine. I think that's the best part about going out plein air painting, is going out and seeing what the sky looks like in other places. Because the atmosphere is so different. Just the weather, the atmosphere, it's always so different no matter where you go. You know, even inland, you know, like here we have this coastal stuff, but you go, you know, inland a little bit, you know, a mile, but you go in like a mile or two, and then all of a sudden you're like in a whole different atmosphere. It's pretty cool. But if you go to like a different part of the country or different altitudes, or, you know, different coastal areas, lake areas, mountain, this and that, and I think that's really the most fun about it. And I really wish, you know, it's like I wish I had more money just to go zooming around all over the place. And you're just going like a painting adventure. It's like you're not camping, you're going on a painting adventure. And that to me is really pretty cool, and that's what painting is all about. Yeah, it's sitting here doing this and that, making lots of money, drinking tea and all that good stuff, and making videos. But what it really is going out and just capturing the essence of our natural world. That's the best part of it, to be honest with you. And if unless that doesn't really capture spirit, and you're like, I just like being in the studio and all that good stuff. But if you're like me and you're the adventurous type of painter, you really just want to go out and just paint all these magnificent places. Like the guy Thomas Moran, he went to National Park Zion is his claim to fame kind of thing, and you're just looking at that like, man, this dude got to go on the best camping trip ever. He just got to go out and paint, and had like a 20 mule team, whatever. He had like all these other people bringing stuff. There's no cell phone, there's no this, that, someone else was the cook. All he had to do is go out and just do these amazing paintings to show back at the people who sponsored the trip and say, hey, look, the West is really quite beautiful. They're like, oh, really? No kidding. And so, to me, that is just magic, just to go out. Not so much as not a care in the world, but so much as the proper care in the world. Go out and have the proper idea of what you're doing. Have the proper experience of your life and the nature of it, and experience the surroundings of nature and the way it is, and just capture on your easel, your paint, your sketchbook, everything. And to me, that's bliss. That's my utopian society. That's my dream, I guess you could say. You know what you need to do in order to that, though? You need money. Like, click, and subscribe. Now, for some of you, you're like, no, you don't need money to do that. Well, I hate to tell you, you do. Because you want to eat food. I mean, yeah, you can just get yourself a roadkill or whatever, but it's not me, apparently, you don't want to steal food and live like something. It's not you're not going out and being homeless, is what I'm saying. You don't want to go out and be a homeless artist, because having a homeless artist come up and tell you how awesome their art was, and they're an artist too. You're like, oh boy, I really failed. But the idea is to you just need some money and go back and do a big show and all that other stuff. But like any really successful artist out there, okay, and be it an actor, a musician, this, that, no matter what, it always takes other people to help you out in a way. Yeah, you're the talent, and you're this and that, you're doing all this, but it's like you need help. You need whatever je ne sais quoi it is with other people to help you be a successful artist. Because in art, you can't live by yourself. You have to live in a society, as it were. Let's fix that. So, part of the art, I think, process of being successful, and I am not successful in any way, shape, or form, so, take this with a grain of salt. But you need to cultivate relationships in order to make it as an artist, because, like I said, there's absolutely no way that you're going to be a successful artist without having some help with someone who is going to help get your stuff out there, do the marketing, do the sales, the marketing, getting it out there, this and that. Because it's not that you're like, oh, I'm above that, I can't do that or anything. It's more along the lines of it's almost too much work. I'm not saying you're lazy. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form. It's just I think the best one I saw that really describes it is you can do anything, but you can't do everything. I saw that. I was like, you know what, man, that's right. And so, you know, if you can somehow, you know, have somebody help you grow as an artist and everything, and having, you know, your home support, your spouse or whoever be like, yeah, you know, knock yourself out. Like my wife, she's like, yeah, whatever. I've disappointed her enough as it is anyway. But she supports me in this, and that's like super awesome. But you know, you need like the kingmaker, if you will. You know, you need someone to help you make it happen. And I remember there's this one artist, I won't name names, but he does, you know, paintings with grapes and martini glasses on a black canvas. Anyway, he was like as miserable as all hell. And some guy came up to him and said, hey, dude, I'll give you, I don't know, give you something or buy your painting, whatever. Just paint something that makes you happy. And so he did. It was a martini with grapes jumping out of it. And that guy took his idea and said, wow, that's awesome. That guy was like big in the art industry, whatever. I don't know what that is, as I have never experienced it. And that was it. You know, now he's super huge and famous and makes gazillions and millions and bazillions of dollars. And it's like, oh, you're so awesome, you're this and that. But it was the other guy. You know, yeah, you had the vision to do these cool little grapes on a black canvas, but it was the other guy who took it and made it worth the money that it is. All right, that being said, I'm going to fix a few things here. Take a step back. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's terrible. Good thing I still have a lot of paint I used down here. Alright, let's get some of this really dark stuff that we have over here. Yeah, that's not great. Let's fix it like that. Alright, here there are glaring errors that need to be fixed. I was watching this one, it was a Clyde Aspivy one. Oh, son of a bitch, guys. The Clyde Aspivy one, he said, it's like music, you know, it's, your painting should be music. And if you can decipher that, then go for it. But it comes down to the same principle, which is, it comes down to your composition. Your composition, your colors, it all has to have a harmony to it. There we go. A little bit better there. Sorry, bumped the camera. A little bump right here, guys. There we go. Oops, I bumped the camera. Sorry about that, everyone, if you're wobbling along. Now, the idea of putting in some whiter highlights in there, I don't really think I want to do that because I don't want it to, you know, this is supposed to like come forward a bit more, you know, like recess in, but I don't know, maybe a little bit in the bottom here. Let's see what we get. tie this together here. In case you're wondering what I'm doing here is I'm just going through, kind of looking off center of your eye or squinting or however you want to do that, and just kind of pick up just little highlights here and there, just maybe create a little bit of interest. Working with your planes, you know, like here's a horizontal plane, you know, and as the rocks go down, the planes change up a little bit so that you have little catches of highlights right here and there and whatever. Edge quality, anything in the edges that are really bugging me now. Anything in these marks I'm doing all over the place. You know, in the picture there's like water coming through here, but if I try and put that in, I don't know, I don't think it'll look good. I'm going to step back and take a look at this. Okay, so we have this painting done here. I'm going to leave it up on the easel for a day or two. You know, maybe go back and touch up here and there, but for the most part it's done. Now I like leaving it up on the easel so when my wife comes home after she's been working all day with kids, she can see that I actually did something. And, you know, just, I don't know if she really cares or whatever. She's like, yeah, you did a painting, great. But anyway, I like doing the paintings. And, you know, so I hope you like the painting I did, and I hope you learned something. Keep painting, have fun.